Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host Simon Conboy. Today's episode, carrying on with the draft preview series. This episode will be focusing on the Miami Dolphins. So for those of you who have not seen one of these episodes before, what I'll be doing is going through my first round mock, which is a little out of date now. There'll be a fresh one up tomorrow, but I'll also be offering up suggestions for players that are likely to be picked each juncture in rounds 1, 2 and 3 that fit team needs. I'll be going through my primary team needs also that should inform some of those picks, with free agency essentially having come to a close at this point. So in terms of the Dolphins' primary team needs, I've got the guard spot, which with Brandon Albert having gone to Jacksonville, it could be assumed that Laramie Tunsil is going to be moved to tackle. I say assumed, they've said as much. So that opens up a spot at guard. Really think it's imperative that they keep that offensive line in, humming along as well as possible. When everyone was healthy last year, they were a pretty good unit, and I think that's what managed to help that team turn their season around after a very slow start. The cornerback spot, they're very thin at that position. At the end of the season when they were playing the Steelers, their secondary was ravaged by injury. They need more quality in general at that spot, as well as more depth. And also the linebacker spot, the linebacking crew is poor. Kiko Alonso played quite well last year. Jelani Jenkins, who had a bit of an up and down spell with the Dolphins, is gone. There's a big need for another impact player at that spot. So in the first round in my original mock, I had the Dolphins selecting Hassan Reddick, the linebacker from Temple. I think he's a really, really good player. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be available for them. I've watched a lot of tape in the last week, and I actually think he's one of the better players in the draft. I think he's incredibly versatile. If they've got an option to take, if he's available for them, I think that is the way they'd likely go, or it would certainly garner heavy consideration. Other players that I think may be available, Reuben Foster isn't out of the question with the failed test and some of the stuff that's come up. I would be shocked though, to be honest, if he gets past even pick 15. I think is kind of the floor I have for him, but I've got no doubt that would be the pick in a perfect world for Dolphins fans. Their corners, Tre'Davious White, I think he may be available. Girion Conley likely won't, based on some of the general approach that people have. He seems to have flown up boards. It's, with the draft on Thursday, he could easily go in the top 16 picks. If he's available, I think he'd be a great pick. It's certainly possible now that Marlon Humphrey might be available. If so, I'm sure they'd be all over that as a selection. I think if one of the pass rushers gets to them, Derek Barnett or Cole Lawson, maybe not Cole Lawson, but Charles Harris, I think they're certainly garner some consideration. They do need a bit more youth at that spot. Cameron Wake can't keep going forever. I think they would all garner some consideration. Also, Forrest Lamp would fill that guard need perfectly. There's a chance he'll be available. I think he'd certainly warrant some heavy consideration at that spot. Also, Jared Davis, I think he's the other linebacker that could well be considered at that juncture. Moving into the second round, I think this is where we could see the guard spot looked at. May need to reach to do so. Guys like Dan Feeney, Siragusa, they're certainly possible. I think this may be a good spot to select one of the corners, whether it's a guy like Quincy Wilson if he's available, Desmond King, although I'm not sure he'll necessarily be there that late in the second. Fabian Moreau and Sidney Jones are wild cards because of the injuries. I think either one of them would be a great selection if they're available. Akielo Witherspoon, if he's available, I think he'd be a great pickup. We could also see a linebacker taken, whether it's a guy like Duke Riley, Raekwon McMillan. I think they'd probably be the top backers on the board if they're available at this point. I think they would also certainly garner some consideration. Heading into the third, I think this is where things open up. I think the tight end spot may be looked at. Julius Thomas wasn't exactly setting the world on fire in Jacksonville. So guys like Bucky Hodges, could represent good value in the third. I could see them considering him. Again, defensive end, I think this is where that spot really opens up as a possibility. Guys like Terrell Bosham, Derek Rivers, I think would be a good fit for what they do. Deshaun Hall, Keonta Davis, some of the names I've got here. Again, guard is still a possibility. I actually didn't mention Dion Park's a possibility in round 2. Not sure he gets them. I think he'll go quite early in the second. We could see Isaac Asiata taken at this juncture. In terms of linebackers, Anthony Walker, I think he's an option. DeMarcus Walker, I think, is a bit of a wild card. He could potentially go in the third. Quite a versatile lineman. I think corner, I'm not sure what the pickings will be at this point. I really don't want to speculate too much on what corners might be available in round 3. But again, they may wait until that juncture. So, what do you guys think? Dolphins fans, hit me up. Let me know if there's any particular players you've got your eye on. Do you agree, disagree with any of my selections or offers of selections, as well as, my assessment of your team needs? Let me know, whether it's below in the comments section, whether it's on the Cover Zero Facebook page, or find me on Twitter at Simon Conboy. I'll do my absolute best to get back in touch with anyone who does make contact. Always fun to discuss these things. Going to be doing a live stream for the first round of the draft, so be watching that with a couple of mates, giving our assessments of the picks as they're made and just discussing some football. So I recommend checking that out. If you want some company, especially over here in the UK and you're watching at 1 in the morning. If you want some company, check that out with us. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have the Jets up as well today, finish the AFC West, and my mock draft is coming tomorrow. I'm really hoping it will be up before Mayock's is. Either way, it'll be recorded before, so no one accuse me of copying Mike Mayock. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the show, check out some more of them. The rest of the NFL is pretty much covered at this point. There's a bunch of other stuff on the channel. I'm sure you'll enjoy some of it. If you can like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon, know that it's greatly appreciated, and always grateful. And been a pleasure. So thank you very much for your time. Have a great day, and go Bucks.